When last you guys were here, you had traveled to the far northern reaches, all the way to the rugged glacier, where, upon reciting the Rime of the Frostmaiden in its initial Elvish language by Cadillac, who had held the tome that had been claimed from the Frostmaiden's temple herself, you were able to crack open the glacier and travel down into the caves below, heading towards the city of Yithrin. Frostmaiden weakened after you had defeated a couple of her earthly avatars in her fortress and temple. You know that, and had learned that potentially the ability to reverse the terrible curse that is befalling the land lies within the magic stored deep within the ancient Netherese city. You traveled down into the caves, where you found a crashed airship, finding a safe inside, and did battle with several flaming skulls of former dead Netherese wizards. You traveled deeper down into the caves, finding ice mephits that were pretending to be icicles clinging to the ceiling, throwing down their sharp, icy blades upon you. Eventually defeating all of them, you took respite in a room where, after finding you found a safe that was unlocked that you spent some time trying to figure out how to open. You took respite in a room that had strange patterns on the wall. After Cantrell's character Winnie the Pooh'd himself into that room, breaking open the wall, you found that this area refreshed spell slots. Was capable of giving you some degree of restoration. There you took a short rest. I believe it was a short rest you ended upon. You found the body of a Netherese wizard that had died there. Treasure upon the Netherese wizard that you found some things. You also found a holy symbol of Mistral, which was a four-pointed star. Mistral being the goddess of magic this ancient dead wizard was bearing. And you continue journeying deeper and deeper into the caves, and that's where we'll take you in just a moment. Let me just set the audio and ambiance for your listening pleasure. Okay, you're in that room now with the strange, symbols on the wall. You smashed a hole in the wall over here to get your way in, and you can see through cracks in the room to another chamber on the what would be the eastern side of that. There's another sort of cave chamber. There were also other pathways leading out of the initial cave that you were in here previously before you smashed your way in there. Yeah. You guys have had a short rest in here. What do you do? So anybody can take a short rest if you've not had one.
You might need a rest. What are we doing?
Yeah, just you can mark a short rest as you've spent some time here and you've regained.
I think I got one last week.
Yeah, if you haven't marked it, you did it last week. If you haven't marked it, you can mark a short rest. In this room, if you take a short rest in it, you're able to regain. You're able to basically regain a spell slot of 3rd level or lower. So everybody has regained a 3rd level or lower spell slot. And yeah, you're descending into these caves. And I don't know if I've got your character in there. Let me get you there.
I'm in there.
Oh, are you? Okay, cool. Yeah, so everybody's resting in there. And what do you guys do? You going to try to smash through back into this chamber to the east, or are you going to crawl back into the other chamber you were in and explore the other pathways? Your drone. How long is the drone out for, Kenny?
It's gone.
Okay. So the drone crawls back up into your body.
Yep, the drone is DED dead.
Well, not dead. Just it has to go recharge its batteries.
I've heard it both ways. I think I just pull another one together from the ether.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, you're in this tunnel system. You're trying to find your way, apparently, to wherever the city is. You assume this is rubble from the remains of the ancient Netherese settlement, as you're finding bits and pieces of things. In the last room that you were in, there were pieces of like some sort of mechanical something on the ceiling. I'm sorry, not mechanical thing, like a toppled pillar. Blocks of stone and toppled pillars, frost covered. There's on the floor there. So yeah, so where are you guys going? What does what's Cadillac think? Cadillac is touched by the Frostmaiden and may have some sense of things.
I am still, I think, feeling a little bit not optimal. And I guess I just try to sort of shrug that off for the moment. And I am going to go into this next area and see what I can investigate.
Okay. So that area, you're going to have to sort of smash a hole in the wall to get through there, because you can see it, but it's just through like cracks in the wall there.
Okay, I remember smashing a wall, and I couldn't remember if I'd done this side too. So
No.
yeah, I would like to try to sort of push through
Yeah, it doesn't
somehow.
It doesn't take much effort, but it's going to be hard to do it quietly. But without much effort, with a moderate amount of noise, you're able to sort of smash your way into that room. And go ahead, you can move yourself into that chamber.
Okay. Is there anything in particular I noticed about this room itself?
You don't see much in it. Aside from the tower that's embedded into the west wall that you just smashed your way through. It has 30-foot high ceilings, and there's rubble around the ground. Some of it you just added to by smashing your way out. You don't see anything else really in the room other than it's got a natural 30-foot high ceiling. There's a passageway to the north that then splits into two separate paths. And then to the south, there is what looks like kind of a natural sort of staircase sloping downwards. But no other obvious things, just sort of standing out. Obvious, unless you are digging for more. Did anybody take the stuff off of the dead wizard? Cantrell, you took a magic item.
Yeah.
And did anybody take the holy symbol? Just making notes.
I took a wand.
Yeah, there was a wand. It wound up being. You didn't identify what it was, did you?
I thought it was a wand of wonder, right?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
I gave
it was
it
a
to,
wand of wonder.
Yeah, I gave it to Jonathan.
Jonathan, yeah. So Jonathan had the wand of wonder, and he also had the holy symbol of Mistra. So I don't know if anybody took that or not.
I think he did.
Okay. Kind of a cleric wizard thing. But yeah, you don't see anything else obvious in that room, Cadillac, other than passageways heading in different directions.
Okay, then I guess I will start wandering up here towards the north and see if I can hear anything coming down these hallways, and I'm going to wait to sort of proceed until more people move up into this room around me.
The passageway splits into two separate paths, heading one to the north and then one sort of more eastern, I guess. If you're trying to sort of listen and see if you hear anything, you can roll perception.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay. You hear the faintest, like breeze of wind or something disturbing the airflow. Just the faintest little bit from the eastern passage. The northern passage is fairly quiet. Nothing there. Who has the professorial orb? Professor Scott. Who's carrying that? You took him away from Valian. And she's kind of traveling with you, but is kept fairly quiet.
I think I've got him.
Okay. That's
For
fine.
reasons that I don't remember. I thought it was a good idea, and now I just have him.
Yes, you've got Mr. Belvedere, who knows a lot about. He knows an awful lot about the ancient city. So,
but now he's working on commercializing it for me.
Yeah, you tried to convince him to. Could we figure out a way to copy this restoration artwork? And he said yes, perhaps indeed I could. To the north, Cadillac, you see, as you sort of are staring through the chamber, there's like a stone slab that's sitting in the center of that room that sort of stands out.
Okay. I'm going to sort of start tiptoeing up through this passageway here.
Okay. You don't encounter anything obvious, and you can see now more clearly. There is a flat, slightly canted slab of stone in the center of the room ahead. The ceiling heads up about 25 feet above you, and one side of the slab looks rough, as if it had been torn off of some sort of larger structure. It's about 8 feet long and 4 feet wide and 4 feet high, and there is a layer of frost over top of the slab that is sort of covering it slightly.
Okay, so and if I remember correctly, this is all still upside down, technically, right?
No, that was in the other tower. The tower that broke off was all upside down. Everything's right side up here. Okay. That was where you found the spire that had broken off of the city, that sort of gave you an indication that you needed to search further. It was in a different location.
Got it. I guess I'm going to examine this. And can I use stone cutting to sort of help me out with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Anything in specific I should roll for that?
It is a history check, and you have advantage.
Oh, dear. Okay. Blam.
With an 11, you can see that this is not natural. There's something that's been manipulated. There's like markings or something, chisel markings, but you can't really see because it's covered by this layer of frost on the top of the stone. But there's something there.
Okay, and so
like somebody's chiseled on this thing.
Do I see any seams that I could get?
With an 11, no.
Okay.
But there's been some marking that has been chiseled into the top of it, but it's covered with frost, and you can't make out if they're just where the stone's been chiseled out, or if there's hieroglyphs on it, or what.
I am going to go ahead and try using my pike to sort of wedge underneath it to see if I can sort of turn this thing over, just on a hunch that maybe just dislodging this thing somehow might give a little bit more purchase into perhaps opening it up, if that is even a thing this does.
Okay.
That could be a catastrophic idea, but I'm sort of curious about this.
You try to make me a strength check.
Okay.
All right. Cadillac, for the size of the stone and the way you've wedged underneath there, you feel confident that you should have been able to move it a little bit, but something pulled it back down that feels sort of unnatural to you, and the stone doesn't move.
That's what we call a nope.
Remains kind of locked in place, And as you do that, Cadillac, a little bit of it wiggles a bit, but it kind of comes back down. And a little bit of the frost comes off of the top of the stone. And you can see just the beginning just kind of falls off because there's just sort of like loose snow on the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that there is some writing on the stone. It's definitely some sort of script that's underneath the frost that's written on the top of it.
Okay, so just out of due diligence, I'm going to go ahead and try to clean off all of the snow to see if I can read or make out anything here.
Yeah, no check needed. You scrape off the frosting, and etched into the top of it is some sort of...
So is it covered in frost or frosting? This is something that's going to be very important for my next
I was just thinking, I'm hungry too.
You think it... roll a
what
cooking
flavor?
check. Roll a flavor town check. You know what? Taste it to find out. You scrape off the frosting.
What color is it first?
White. It's white with a little bit of yellow. You scrape off the top of it, and scraping off the frost reveals...
My daughter does that too, and then she leaves the cake. Needs the frosting.
What languages do you speak, Perkins?
I speak Common, Dwarvish, and Elvish, so pretty boring, all things considered.
There is some sort of script that looks very similar to that safe that you guys saw before. The letters on the safe is written there, but you can't understand it.
I'm right there with him. Can I tell if that's Draconic? Because I think that's what was on the safe.
Yes,
Okay.
It is Draconic. And Cadillac, one thing
read it.
you can read it. Cadillac, one thing
Yes.
you see is that there is a eye carved into the shape here. And Cadillac, you can't read the script, but the eye, the pupil of the eye, is raised up just a little bit in a sort of like a different stone from the main stone. Very much sort of Indiana Jones, like that pupil might move if pressure was applied to it. You can read the script, and it says in Draconic, it says, "Take the free self-guided tour of Yithrin. Press the eye to cast the spell."
Oh.
Do you
What could go wrong?
Do you say that out loud, Zarya? Do you read that out loud to the rest of
Or
the
does
class?
Zarya just read that to herself?
No, I'll read it out loud. What could go wrong?
I slam my fist down on the eye.
Okay. You slam your fist down on the eye, and the thing sort of slides down in the middle, and then there's a click. You hear a low hum. And this low hum begins. What? Hang on. I'm making sure I do this right. Okay.
I hope there's a gift shop.
Yeah, this low hum begins. And all of a sudden, Cadillac, in front of you, is a how to describe this? What? Hang on. Okay. You feel your mind open, Cadillac. And all of a sudden, you can see something. It's like you can see, but you can also see something else in an extremely weird sort of way. This glowing ball of light in the shape of an eye appears in front of Cadillac. And Cadillac, you can see out of the glowing eye. And then it disappears. But you can still see through this invisible now eye. Cadillac, you have cast the spell Arcane Eye. You feel yourself concentrating on it. This lasts for an hour. You've created an invisible magical eye that hovers in the air around you. The range is 30 feet. As an action, you can move the eye in 30 feet in any direction, and there's no limit to how far away from you the eye can. There's no limit as to how far the eye can move from you, but it can't enter another plane of existence. It can pass through an opening as small as 1 inch in diameter, but a solid wall it can't go through. You have a hovering, like, freaking periscope, invisible periscope eye that you're able to see through in your mind.
This is really cool.
So you're concentrating on it, though, so you have to maintain concentration, but you find yourself like being able to see through this invisible floating eye that appeared out of the slab.
Got it. So, no disembodied voices, though, telling me that the tour's about to begin. I just get it. I'm guessing that part of the tour is broken. I just get the eye.
Kind of like the downside to it is that there's a broken tape recorder sound in your ear that's constantly repeating the Ythryn was a city of what? Ythryn was a city of wonder. Ythryn was a city of and it's just like on a loop, repeating over and over again, and like it's like the tape skips back. Very Fallout-esque. That's now canon.
Okay, cool. Well,
yeah, you have a magical tour guide, but the tape is stuck, but you still have the invisible floating eye that you can zip around and see things with.
Okay, well, I've got a new buddy. I've got a new pet, and you said this is for an hour.
For an hour, or until you lose concentration.
Got it. Well, okie dokie. And there are no windows or anything in here that I can use to sort of send it out for a test drive. I'm guessing this is just a sealed room.
Nope, you're in a sealed up room.
Okay. Well, I think that's that does it for me for this room.
I like how like Zarya reads that out loud and kind of like without even thinking just slams his fist down on the button.
I wanted to have a
that
tour.
Sounds good. Boom.
Yeah.
What sounds good?
We could have learned all the secrets.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys doing? What are Leonard and Harkus doing?
Check out this other room.
Ordella, you're heading over there?
Yeah.
Ordella, as you sort of look down the hall in there, you see down the passageway, lying on its side in the middle of a 20-foot high cave, is an enormous head. You see it looks like it's made out of something different than stone. Why don't you roll me history?
Oh, no pluses to that. Ooh.
It's made out of iron. You can see that it's metal. It's iron. And its eyes are aglow with some sort of golden light.
Uh-oh. All right. He looks awful big compared to the hallways. How he get in there?
No. Go in there and examine. Find out.
Check it out.
As you walk into the room, the head, the eyes sort of blink at you.
Of course they do.
Yep, they blink at you. And roll insight. They seem to track you as if there's like intelligence there.
Nope.
Roll me roll me history again. Dang, rolling hot. You have heard of something like this.
My attacks are gonna suck.
You've heard of something like this before. This appears to be the head of an iron golem.
Cool.
Iron golems would have been used maybe as like the centuries for ancient cities as their like protection force. They once were able to speak, and they once had like weapons and things like that, but this is just a head. But it does still seem to have some form of intelligence and is able to sort of blink at you.
Okay. Um. All right. I walk around the room and just kind of see what else is around first.
You don't see much else in the room.
Okay.
Jeff, I think Leonard would meander that way eventually.
Okay. Yeah, Leonard, you see that, and you instantly recognize an iron golem. And Professor Scott that you're carrying looks at it and goes, "Fascinating. It's one of the golems of Yithrin. They were supposedly defenders of the city. The great god, the wizards there created these golems of iron that were capable of insight and knowledge, and they used their magical prowess to use these to defend the city. It still seems to have some intelligence." And Professor Scott says starts speaking in a sort of strange tongue. It sounds like Latin, almost. And I don't know if any of you recognize it. He said, and after he says it, the golem blinks at him twice, and he says, "Fascinating. It seems to be able to answer. I asked it if it knew where the city of Yithrin was. I've arranged a setting. 1 blink for yes and 2 blinks for no."
Interesting.
Perhaps we could query this creation.
Yes, Leonard is all about querying this creation. I got to run upstairs and help Stephanie for a minute.
Okay.
So I'll be right back. But I'm happy to let Professor Scott guide an interrogation. Having Jeff talk to himself is a great.
Professor Scott is deferring to the crowd as to.
No, that's fine. I'll happily interrogate once I help Stephanie with the food.
Yeah, for sure. While Kenny's doing that, and while Hawkins stepped up and walked away, what about Ordella, who is also the other person that entered this room initially? As the professor sort of says, Professorial Orb sort of says this, perhaps we could query this creation and obtain some of its knowledge. It doesn't seem to know where the city of Yithrin itself is, but maybe there's more we could learn.
What else are we trying to find?
I don't know. What does Ordella want to know? You're trying to find your way to the city of Yithrin, which it says it doesn't.
Mhm.
Blinks twice. 2 for no, it doesn't know. But anything else you wanted to know about where you are and whatever. If you had any questions, you don't have to query. You can certainly move on. But this is just what you're seeing. So does Ordella have anything she, as Professor Scott sort of says that, does she have any, would she ask any question? Would Ordella turn to Professor and say, "Ask it where the food is," or something like that? Or would she have anything to ask?
No.
So Ordella just sort of says, quiet. What about Cadillac and Zaria? What are you guys doing? As Ordella and Leonard have gone in this other room with this giant's head, iron giant's head.
I suppose I would follow in. And I think the only thing I would want to ask it is, Has it seen any living beings recently through here?
It blinks once at you. And Professor says, fascinating ads. Are there living things down here?
Was this within the last day or longer?
It blinks once again.
Can you blink for the number of beings that you saw?
It blinks once. And then it blinks once.
Okay. I just look around at the others, and as I look around, I'll also like look down at the floor. Do I see any footprints or anything like that indicating movement other than us?
Roll perception. No. You glance around, but it's dark in here, and frost covers everything, and you can't make out anything obvious on the cave floor.
I just look around at the others and shrug.
Cadillac, what about you?
Is there anything through my stone cunning that I can sort of glean about him that may have gone unnoticed in earlier investigations? Or do we pretty much know all there is to know about him?
Sure, roll history.
Okay.
Take advantage. You're stone cunner. You know about building and making things. Although this is iron, it was forged.
Oh, I was thinking he was okay.
I'm still letting you do it.
Okay. Well, are you going to let me roll this or not? Okay, I shot to roll it twice.
19. With a 19, you can tell that this thing, whatever had happened to it, was smashed apart by some sort of great blunt force. The head has been roughly separated from the remainder of the body of this iron giant. And it seems to have been damaged. Its mouth and voice, if it had a voice, were damaged by whatever great blunt force has happened to it. I think the picture art in the book is great and doesn't... The stuff here just doesn't do justice to the pictures in the book. And I'll see if I've got the picture to show you. Because maybe I do. In which case, I'll show you the art. But anyways, yeah, some sort of great blunt force smashed this off.
Okay, so I ask him, it looks like you were torn apart by something. Is that what happened to you?
Torn apart.
Or attacked?
It blinks twice for no.
Okay.
The professor sort of chimes in and says, "Did this happen when the city fell? Were you smashed to bits by the great fall?" And the giant blinks once for yes. It seems to have been smashed to bits as the city came crashing down to the ground. Here's the art.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah. What about you, Harkus? Are you Harkus bored moving on for pelts?
Yeah, Harkus is looking around for some other place that he can go and try and find a pelt because he's got this new bag of holding that he's just really aiming to fill up with a bunch of skins of dead things.
Okay. Well, the party's heading out that way. Are you following behind them?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this room continues on to the east. There's a passageway that continues heading eastwards if you're continuing to follow that way. Back in the room that you were in before, there's another passage that headed downwards to the south. So it's just a matter of which way you're headed. Kind of like you're sort of heading around this room, it looks like.
I guess, yeah, if people don't have any objection to going
Well.
this direction, to going east.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
I guess I'm going to take my eye out for a test drive. And so I'm going to send my eye forward into the next chamber
Okay.
to see what I can see.
Okay. Cadillac, your eye flies forwards, and you're just continuing to make 30-foot at a time movements. It enters the next room, and the next room is very dark. There's no source of light there unless you have some sort of light that's going with it. But as it's in that room, there's a ceiling that's probably, I don't know, 30 feet high. And in the darkness, you can see, even with your eye, there's some sort of the darkness sort of shifts a bit around the ceiling of the room to some degree.
What was that on the ceiling again?
The darkness sort of shifts a bit.
Mm.
Oh, it is dark vision. Okay. It has normal vision and dark vision, so you can see in the dark, but it's in shades of gray. So you're able to dark vision see, but it's dark vision still sort of shades of gray. And all you can see is just sort of like the shadows of the ceiling seem to sort of shift and move slightly in the darkness and in the shadows. And despite your dark vision of your arcane eye, the ceiling seems darker than you might sort of expect it to be. More shadowed.
Okay. Can the eye? I'm guessing the eye can move up and down as well as horizontally.
Yeah.
I want to try to fly the eye all the way up as far as it'll go to the ceiling to see how tall it is and if it actually contacts stone or not.
Yeah. It eventually does. It reaches the top of the ceiling. And as it does, you can see occasionally its vision sort of goes like black, like a shade, has like a sheet or a sheer like piece of like silk or something has been pulled across the vision, turning it slightly black, and then it opens up and you're able to sort of see again, and then it wisps across your vision again, turning things black, and eventually you sort of touch a rocky ceiling where you can't move it any further up.
Okay. Is that I'm going to go back down and just sort of try to divine out, does that room dead end there, or is there another chamber?
It doesn't dead end there. The room splits off into multiple chambers. It's a fairly large chamber, and there are passageways that are heading to the east, north, and south that you can see fairly obviously.
Okay, I recall the eye, and then I turn around, and I guess Zarya's standing right next to me, and I say that the next chamber is connected to a bunch of other stuff. As far as I can tell, there's something in the ceiling in there, and I bet it's going to cause trouble.
The ceiling moves.
The ceiling moves, and I'll bet my money is on some form of hanging monstrosities that have wings or something.
Now, I'll be really clear. You can see fairly clearly, and you don't see any creatures.
Oh, okay.
It's like the shadows of the ceiling sort of like seem to shift.
Okay. Okay, well then I stand behind my assertion then that if not creatures, that the ceiling's going to cause trouble.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
As Leonard is thinking through this, he's going to run over and touch the thing that gave the arcane eye to Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get an arcane eye?
Nope, the button is depressed down all the way.
Mm.
It's slowly rising back up. It looks like it will come back up in about an hour, maybe.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No. I was just wondering if we systematically took the time to explore, could we create a map that could perhaps be provided as a handout?
If you just sat down and ran the arcane eye through everything.
Oh,
for
that's
an hour.
a great idea. And we just devote like a day to it.
Right, just like drawing it out.
Oh, that feels like cheating.
Yeah.
But that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, that could definitely be done. There are some limits to that. The limits would be, like how good are your memory skills of drawing out what you see?
Uh-huh.
And how much time do you want to spend? And the arcane eye lasts for an hour. How much can you get mapped in an hour?
Right.
Yeah. But once the eye goes dead, it'll just pop back to the key to the tour kiosk, and then we know to just go get another eyeball.
Let me see how that works to see if that is in fact what would happen.
Leonard, this is an excellent idea.
I'm just spitballing here, but a handout would be real nice.
This they did this in one of the Aliens movies. Was it Prometheus?
Oh no, Hawkins. Leonard, you go back in and look at the arcane eye button. This is actually what happens in the book. Oh my god. And it's even better because of the way Cadillac did it. Leonard, you can see that as Cadillac had slammed his fist down into the button is broken in half. Where Cadillac just slammed that button down and pushed it. And it appears that whatever mechanism had triggered the arcane eye is mooshed. To read the text, it says, the slab, which used to function whenever the button is pressed, is damaged. Once the spell is cast, the slab ceases to be magical.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
In canon, what happened is Cadillac slammed his fist down on it so hard, going, "Yes, Tor!" that he broke the button.
That tracks. All right.
Oh, well.
The designers of D&D thought of everything. They thought you might do that, and then...
Okay, so to role play this out, I think that Leonard had an excellent idea, and so we don't know that it's broken, I'm guessing.
Oh, Leonard does.
Does Leonard?
Mhm.
Are we? Because I am willing to go ahead and shoot the eye out to begin the mapping process, thinking we can get it back.
Leonard definitely knows that it's broken after he goes and examines it.
Okay.
All right. Well, maybe we could get... How fast does the arcane eye move?
30 feet per action.
Okay. So we could make a very, very rough sketch of some portion with the time available to us.
Yep, you could.
Like, here are hallways, rooms. This is the direction that it looks like stuff is.
Yep. You
And
gonna do that?
and presumably detecting any critters. This feels like cheating.
All right, boys and girls, get out your paper because this is how this is going to work. I'm going to describe it to you, and you're going to dwarf fortress. Write this down on paper.
And then we're going to compare pictures.
Arcus, I'm so sorry. You're not getting any pals.
All I wanted were pelts.
This is going to be nothing but role play and drawing maps.
You're going to make a map like you would do in those old computer games. Exits are north, south, and Dennis.
I'm filling the bag of holding with my own tears.
Listen, I love how there's something moving in the ceiling. I know some of our characters like to kill things. Better not go there.
Let's make a map.
All right. You send the arcane eye out, and it enters that room with this sort of shifting ceiling. You see exits. You see exits to the east and to the south. Which way is the eye going?
Hang on. The shifting ceiling is to our right.
Yes, shifting shadows in the ceiling.
Okay.
Okay, and there's an
Exits from that chamber to the right again, the east and to the south. Which way is it going?
we will go to the east.
As it enters, as you fly it through the room with the ceiling shadows that sort of move, you enter an icicle-filled cave. 10-foot high ceilings covered with icicles that nearly touch the floor, forming stalactites. Several of them are broken off in this room. You don't see any creatures or anything in there. There are, in this room, four other chamber exits. 2 to the north and 2 to the south. We'll call them North 1, North 2, South 1, South 2.
Okay, we'll go to the north.
First North 1 or second North 1?
Northwest?
Okay, northwestern one. As you fly up into northwestern one, it is a 20-foot high cavern that appears to taper to a dead end. You can see what look like a dozen or so human skeletons lying sheathed in frost on the uneven floor. Their skulls appear to be missing.
All right.
Let's not go that way.
Okay, so then I back out and then go to the northeast.
Okay. In the northeast, still sort of in the icically chambered room, heading forward, peering into this room, there's a 10-foot high cavern. There is what looks like a small army of misshapen ice sculptures. You can't see what they exactly are made out of. They're maybe 3 or 4 feet tall, and they're sort of hideous looking, misshapen, deformed appearing. They look like that statue from the frickin' Exorcist, like demonic little things.
And those are in the room, in the room at the end of the
They're made out of ice sculptures, yeah, and they're in that room. There
Okay.
There is another exit in this room to the south, in
Okay.
addition to the one that you came in from.
Oh, okay. Then I'll go through that.
You go into that chamber, and as you enter that chamber, you see roll perception. What'd you get?
21.
There are some sort of creatures that seem to be inhabiting this this chamber. They are huddled together, and as your eye enters, although it is invisible, one of them turns and looks directly at it, and it lets out a hissing sound, and you can see blood-drenched fangs in its mouth, and dead-looking white eyes.
Okay.
It
And
has seen you,
oh dear.
or seems to have seen your eye.
So I'm gonna back. Okay, so no other doorways in that room.
In this room that you're in right now, with the creatures that are sort of hiding, there are 2 other exits. One to the immediate west, one to the north, and one to the south. So 3 other exits.
Okay. I'm going to go to the one to the north.
Okay, not the one you came in, because you came in from
Correct.
North 1. You're going into North 2.
Right, which I'm guessing is northeast.
Yes.
And as I'm leaving, I turn around to see if those things are following my eye.
Watching it. All of them appear to be watching it. There's several in there.
Okay,
And
but
as
they're
you enter
not.
this,
Oh, go ahead.
no, that's all good. As you enter this chamber, what you see is cave containing about a half dozen like mounds of snow. Just sort of like lumped up there in giant mounds.
Okay. And is that a dead end?
There are sort of sub-chambers to that, but it appears to be a dead end.
Okay.
Depends on how much you explore those sub-chambers. But yeah, dead-ended.
Okay. I'm going to back out and go back into the vampire room.
Yep, presuming those are vampires, yes.
And then I'm going to go to the west.
As you go into the west, you sort of go back into that room with the icicles that you were in previously. The icicles that descend to the that had north 1, north 2, south 1, south 2 sort of thing. This is presumably out of south 2.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Okay, so then I go back into the vampire room and then go to the south.
They watch you very, very closely as you do that. And to the south, there are bones strewn everywhere all over this area, and detritus of dead creatures. You don't see anything moving, but you see an icy floor with what looks like I don't know, like just bones and various things. There is another passageway exiting this room to the south.
Okay, I continue to the south.
It splits into an east and west passage.
Okay, I go west.
Okay. As you head westward, 10-foot high cave where a bunch of human skulls surround a pillar of ice. And a large cavity seems to have been opened in the pillar, as if something had smashed out of it. And it is approaching the end of your hour.
Okay.
I would say.
Do I have?
As you spent this hour mapping these portions of cave.
When you say approaching, am I vanishing now, or do I have one more leg in me?
You've got one more leg in you, maybe.
Okay. Does this room have any other openings other than the one I came in through?
No, appears to be dead end.
Okay, then I'm going to go down then the other fork from the cave that I came in from. The one that goes to the east.
Okay. As you head in there, you see it's a 20-foot high cave, and there is a in the wall of this cave in ice, there is what looks like a giant creature. It is humanoid and appears to be what looks like. Have you seen giants before?
Didn't we see one? Yeah, one was guarding the
You saw the
entrance to one.
Yeah, okay, yes. They look like the frost giants, like the statues that you saw guarding the entrance to the Frostmaiden's cave. There is a frost giant frozen in the walls there. From just your vision, you can't tell if alive or dead. And as you're looking at it, the arcane eye blinks out, and your vision is gone.
Okay, as I was going through all of this, I was orating all of this to the rest of the group.
That was my assumption, so I started sketching it, and then apparently the paper that I wrote on doesn't hold ink well.
Oh,
So I lost a quarter of my map.
All right, where are you guys going? I love it. That's a great use of spell. Like you've got a little like freebie tour of the caves.
It would be better if Cadillac hadn't have smashed the tour kiosk. I'm sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, that was kind of built into the game though, so.
Destined to break.
We're still going to blame you.
Unfortunately.
Okay, I just sent y'all what I drew. It appears to have attached it upside down. I'm sorry about that. So you'll have to rotate it around.
What is that thing doing to that donkey?
Right.
Look, wow. I'm glad.
Yeah, I was like, what am I looking at?
I'm glad my kids are not in the room.
Yeah, upside down, I have some concerns. Right side up.
Right side up, you should probably have some concerns.
Yeah. I can't say this a lot better.
I mean, that's an act that I believe is illegal in Alabama.
Wow.
Maybe not Mississippi.
Wow. I think that might be illegal in Oregon.
Okay.
Nothing's illegal in Oregon.
All right, so that's what you've learned from this direction of cave prancing. There were other passageways you did not explore. I find it very interesting.
That's where we die.
You went the way you went.
Okay, so I would vote not to go say hello to the vampires. Or if we do, we should be prepared for them.
Seems wise.
Everyone cover your neck.
But they were small.
I wouldn't mind checking out, I guess, this first room then that had the creepy, shady ceiling. Discover what that's all about. So I guess I'm going to wander into there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll back him up.
As you walk into there,
That sounds like hissing, Jeff. I don't love that.
you hear what sounds like maybe voices whispering, and the ceiling is moving. You can see it now. As you're all entered, who all's going in there?
Leonard?
Cadillac, you're in there. Leonard, you're in there. Who else? Follow.
I assume
I'm
there's
following.
a pelt in there, so I'm going in.
Marcus is in there. Ordella, are you just charging in, or are you following behind?
I'm falling behind everybody. Might as well.
Balian is with you. As you enter this room, the ceiling is moving and shifting. And you can see shapes out of the ceiling. They look humanoid, but they lack faces. They are wraith-like looking. And all of a sudden they look at you and you hear a voice that says, "Intruders, you are not welcome here." And the Windows Update music comes on. Tells you that you have Windows Update. They suddenly let out a growl, and I don't know why we have sword sounds, like you're fighting invisible ghosts with sword sounds. Like, good idea. But please stop that. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. Whatever. Armor folder. There we go. Crossbow attack and taking damage. Swords clash. Whoosh. Okay, that's enough of that. All right. Yeah. Everybody, go ahead and roll initiative. Let me make sure the turn tracker is cleared, and then roll initiative. Good roll, Ordella. I need to see if these are visible initially. Yeah, okay, you can see them. They're visible. But they're very hard to see in the stealth. They sort of dip in and out of your vision. in the darkness. And there's about a dozen or so of them sort of swirling around. I'll bring them into vision. They look like this. Oh. They're kind of all over the place. The ceiling seems to be flooded with them. Roll me Perception Cadillac.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh dear.
Nope. Sorry. Yep, you don't get that one. I'm sorry. I'm going to roll their initiative now. Their initiative's a 10. So, Ordella, you're up first. Ghosties on the ceiling.
Okay. Do we know what ghosties are immune to? Because I got not a whole lot.
You can roll Arcana or something to see if you, or
Okay.
maybe Religion. Arcana, Religion, or History, see if you know anything about the lore.
I got +0 on all those.
Well, then just roll a d20 and we'll see. All right. They are probably like non-magical piercing and slashings, probably going to be resistant. They're resistant to fire, cold, lightning, thunder. But you know, ghosts don't tend to like radiant stuff.
Oh well.
You know, so like non-magical piercing, non-magical slashing. Like your sword is magical, but like non-magical slashing, not so good.
Uh-huh.
And they seem to be sort of semi-solid.
Okay. Cool.
And you hear them say, "You are not welcome here. You consumed our flesh, ate from our bones. To sustain yourselves, you and all the others will pay."
Did we?
I was just thinking, like, I don't. What?
I don't remember that.
So, Dilla, what do you do?
All right, I'm going to get my Moon Touch longsword.
Okay.
Guess I'll go up to this one here. And attack, maybe?
Okay. So, you're moon touched. What are you? These things are sort of swirling around the ceiling right now, so they're high up.
Okay.
They haven't moved down to like attack you yet, although they've threatened you. You can throw your sword up there. I'll allow that if you want to toss it.
Okay, what do I need to roll for that?
I'll take your 18.
Okay.
Fair enough. You
Cool.
sling your sword upwards, and it makes contact with one of them. This one right here. You can go ahead and roll your damage.
5. Oh, sorry, 9. 9.
It lets out a solid hiss, and your sword falls back down to the ground. You can try to roll dex to catch it. And Harkus, you're up. Ghost pelts.
All right. Well,
You catch it.
How high up are they?
The ceiling here in this room is about 30 feet. And they are swirling around the ceiling right now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use my Breath of the Dragon.
Okay.
And just sort of blow that up there toward the ceiling and see if I can get any of them in my.
What's
in my
what is
20-foot
the 20-foot cone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably
5 feet.
get.
It's 5 feet wide.
Okay.
No, 20-foot cone. Sorry,
20
20-foot cone or a 30-foot line that's 5 feet wide. So
it's a 30-foot ceiling, so we're gonna have to go with the
I
line.
guess I'm gonna have to do the line with the 5 feet. So I'm just
But
gonna.
you can get 3 of them
Okay.
if you sort of like angle yourself right.
Okay.
You could get probably like
If I go like here and do these 3.
yeah, that's doable. Yeah, you can do those.
Okay. Let's do that then. It's a DC 13 deck save.
All right, we got 2 passes and a fail. And what kind of damage does this do?
So taking damage of the it says so each creature in the area makes a deck save, taking damage of the chosen type equal to blah blah blah.
Oh, so you can choose
on a failed. Yeah, so it's equal to it on a failed save or half as much on a successful.
So what damage types can you choose from?
So acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison.
Okay, which type of damage are you choosing?
Let's do fire.
Fire damage.
They seem quite cold. Let's warm them up a little.
All right. So the first one passes and he takes the damage. And the first one fails, he takes your full. And the other 2 are going to take half.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You catch them in a beam of fire. And it is their turn now. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them. There are, 4 of you? Is that right? 5 of you?
Looks like 5, 6.
2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of you. So they're going to...
3, 4. We got 6.
6 players?
Yeah. 2.
I guess you got Valiant.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so there'll be there's 12 of them, so it's 2 attacking a piece basically.
Oh, this is bad news.
So Harkus, 2 of them swoop down and attack you. 22 to hit.
Oh, sure.
Okay, that does 11 necrotic damage, and your strength score is reduced by 2.
How do I change that?
Just make a note of it, because if you finish a short rest, you get it back.
Okay.
If a non-evil humanoid dies from this attack, a new shadow rises.
Okay.
Now 10 to hit.
Nope.
So make a note your strength score and any weapon attacks that you use that use your strength. It's now -2. So what was your strength score?
21.
So now you have a 19. So not that bad.
I have the belt of hill giant strength or something.
Gotcha. 2 of them attack Cadillac. A 21 to hit and a 14 to hit Cadillac.
14 misses.
All right, that does 7 necrotic damage. And you may reduce your strength score by 3 points. If you have any questions about how that changes your modifier, just tell me what your strength score is. Leonard, you get 2 of them after you.
Uh-huh.
A 15 and a crit. They swoop down and then swoop back up to the ceiling as they make these attacks. Does 15 hit you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. Leonard, 4 necrotic damage.
Uh-huh.
And for the crit, that would be a 15.
Okay.
Total of 19 damage.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to reduce your strength score by 3.
And the dump stat gets dumpier.
Well, here's the bad news. If you die from it, if your strength score is... you die if your strength score becomes 0.
Oh, really?
Yep. Target dies if it reduces its strength to 0. Otherwise, it lasts till you finish a short or long rest. If you die, then you become a shadow. And we do get to meet Donatello after all.
Oh, all right.
Ordella. 2 of them swoop down after you. Critical miss and a 10. I assume both of those miss.
Sorry, it froze up a bit. What were you saying?
A 10? Does a 10 hit you?
No.
And then Zarya an 18 and an 18.
18 is my AC. Are they doing that with disadvantage though?
Okay, yeah, disadvantage, one of them hits then.
Mhm.
You're no longer displacing. 8 necrotic damage. And reduce your strength score by 2. And then on to Valian. 15 and an 8. Does 15 hit her? It does. She takes 7. And let's reduce her strength score, as they're strength draining you. Oh boy, her strength score goes down by 4. That's a bad D4 roll.
Just FYI,
This takes her strength to 6.
You can do strength overrides and other ability score overrides in D&D Beyond if you just click on the panel.
Yeah, just remember where you were.
I think if you zero out the modifier, it will default you back to what you're supposed to be, I think.
All right. Zarya, you're up. You're no longer displacing, but you're up. Boy, Valian's
Okay.
strength score became a 6 now. Not good.
Given that they attacked, can you move them to actually where they're at? Because it's gonna matter.
Yeah, for sure. They're all on the ceiling, but you are surrounded by, each of you are surrounded by 2 of them. So I'm going to put 2 around Cadillac. They're 30 feet above you. 2 around Harcus. And you guys can run into the room to give yourself more room or something, but
Nah. Can I'm gonna hold up my
I'm
shield.
going to cast Fireball on the ceiling.
Nah. But maybe. I'm going to hold up my shield
You're just
and
clustered.
say a prayer and try to turn undead. Can I get wisdom saving throw DC 15 for all of them? It's everything within 30 feet of me.
Okay, they're 30 feet up, so that's going to count just the ones immediately around you, because, you know, your hypotenuse is not going to, unless you can cast it 30 feet up on the ceiling, like, away from you, so, you know.
Well, I mean, they came down to attack us. Did they leave and we all get attacks of opportunity, or what?
Yeah, you can opportunity. Yeah, they swoop down and attack. So yeah, if you guys want to opportunity attack, they swoop down and swoop back up to the ceiling. You know what? We'll just say they're all down on the ground next to you, so no opportunity, because that's going to take way too much time. And I will give you. I'll give you your save for all of these.
Okay.
They're probably going to move out next turn. So that's a save to turn undead. What kind of save is it? Wisdom?
Wisdom.
What's the DC?
15.
Oh man, you turn all but 2 of them.
Okay, what is their CR level? Because anything at 1 or lower is destroyed.
What's their what?
What's their CR level?
Anything of 1 or below is destroyed. So you're casting Destroy Undead.
Well, I mean, yes, they have to fail my turn undead, and if they fail it and they happen to be at 1 or less, then they are destroyed.
Okay. Describe what this looks like. They are CR 1/2. So
okay.
So you blow up 10 of them in a single like scrunch.
It's a little like I raise up my shield and it's a little bit like Gandalf cresting the hill at the battle. like where like the light just washes out over the whole battlefield. I think that's kind of what it looks like.
Just in case everyone is confused, this is Zarya's world, and the rest of us are just living in it.
Sorry, you just like you just so you cast not turn undead but destroy undead, and
Yeah,
they are CR 1/2 and they are destroyed. Although I really thought you guys might be about to be like TPK'd by a bunch of shadows.
Same.
yeah.
You destroy them.
So that was my action.
And then now
Bonus
for my
action.
bonus action.
That was not a spell, so I can do this. Can I throw out my spiritual weapon? I'm going to put it right beside me, and I'd like to attack the one that's closest to me.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, that hits. Yeah, you do 6 damage to it. Jeez.
Yeah, and I am done.
Cadillac, you're up. You just watch Zarya like blast them.
So I was literally getting a holy acorn out of my vest to do an incantation to have Sylvanas blast out just like Zarya did, and I just sort of quietly put the acorn back in my vest, like, whoop, we won't be needing you. And I'm going to swing around and hit the guy just above me here with Dust Crusher, and hope that its radiant damage does good work. And we'll do that twice.
Both of those hit, and you just smash him to bits. He's definitely dead. You just bring it down, just in a single blow with those 2 hits. And Leonard, there's one shadow floating around in this room left.
All right, I'm not optimistic about this, but Leonard is going to scroll up from the high level spell he was going to use and cast a firebolt for 12.
12 is a hit.
For 10 fire damage.
That would have killed it, but they're resistant to fire. Ordella, you're up.
That's ridiculous. Resistant.
I know. Wouldn't that have like at least hurt it just a little bit? Even
Oh,
if
it did. It did. It did half the damage. So instead of 10, it does 5.
Okay.
So you should know then. So then you should know how many hit points it has left.
All right,
or at least some idea.
And did
so
you know that
at least 5 more would kill it.
Okay, did you say that it was still on the ceiling or was it down?
No, it's down. It's
okay,
down.
I want to make sure that it didn't go back up. All right, then I'm going to attack with my Moon Touch Longsword, I hope.
Yeah, sure. That's a hit.
For 8.
And that will do it. That slices the thing in half.
Yay.
As the spirit seemingly dies out, and as it disappears with its last breath, it says, "You'll pay for your crimes."
It says, "We just wanted to be friends."
You'll pay for your. And yeah, the room in here, the ceiling's not moving anymore with strange shifting shadows.
All right, problem meets solution.
Exactly.
Yeah, and now you can see there is exits to west and exits to south. When you went with your eye, you went to the east. You went to the east, you did not go to the south.
Right. Okay, so we did have some chambers between us and the vampires.
So
So we could continue down a bit.
Leonard's vote is for, and I'm probably going to regret this when we all die after listening to my argument, but is to explore the places that we know that vampires aren't, because eventually we're going to get, probably our destination is that big giant frozen in there. We're going to need to rest in here eventually, and I don't want to get snuck up on by a horde of goblins down here, or like assassin robot down here or something. So should we explore these? I'll go with whatever everybody wants, but my instinctive preference is to explore these two paths before we move on toward the vampire goblins.
We're going to walk down here toward the belly button, avoiding the taint at all costs.
Got to stay away from the tank. So which way are we headed?
So I guess
because these aren't even these paths aren't even on the.
Yeah, so the southerly paths. Leonard, were you proposing to go ahead and investigate the southerly paths, or to yes, go east and just not deal with the vampires for the moment?
To go ahead and investigate the southerly paths, because really we've got 3 pathways before we get to vampires, and
yeah,
I'm just bleeding teeth little vampire critters don't sound great.
So yeah, I second the motion to investigate south, since that's new territory.
Okay.
I'll look at my perception real quick before I offer to lead the way.
Cadillac runs ahead.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Cadillac, that spire sort of ends in a dead end. Then there's nothing else obvious in that area. There's another path heading immediately south, though, that forms a natural staircase heading downwards.
Okay, so nothing fun in this. No. Are there hidden doors or secret alcoves or glittering gems?
No secret alcoves or glittering gems. You can roll perception or investigation or something.
I'll roll investigation. So, I'm looking. 26.
Yeah, you're certain that there's nothing there. 100% sure.
All right. Natural staircase.
Yep.
Good shoot.
You start walking
all more
down
paths.
There.
Great.
And as you enter into there is a room. You see about a 20-foot high ceiling. It is very dark in here. There's a cave to the southwest that seems to have uneven ceilings, and another cave to the east. And as you enter the room, Leonard, there's a very deep sigh.
Yep, I don't like that. Oh,
and some sort of Elvish some sort of language that is reminiscent of Elvish. And Professor Scott looks over at you, Leonard, and he says, "Well, that was the Netherese tongue." And he says, I keep changing Professor Scott's accent. I'm going to go with like Mrs. Doubtfire. He says, "Cursed be those who gaze upon the horror that dark Kith has become. Such promise wasted, lost in this cold sepulchre. Where were you centuries ago when he was in the prime of life. Where were you when the frigid darkness consumed him? You are no good to Darkreth now. Nothing remains of him but frozen bones, ancient treasures, and me. And this echoes down the hall, coming towards you.
So I hear the voice from, like, this way?
Just echoing through these chambers ahead of you, yeah. Somewhere from that direction, perhaps.
Okay, I'm going to peek into this hallway first. Oh, we got an up and a down.
Yep, you see more chambers heading outwards. And as you enter that room, Cadillac, as Kenny is looking that way, a creature sort of floats in your generalized direction. It looks like this.
It looks like a ring wraith.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's bad.
Oh,
I had
lovely.
to make the Lord of the Rings reference.
Yep. It's basically a ring wraith. It approaches, and as Kenny is looking that way, it reaches out and it tries to grab Cadillac. And Cadillac, it does a 16 hit you, Cadillac?
It does.
Cadillac, this does 11 necrotic damage. Roll a Constitution saving throw, please. Turn this down.
Oh, sorry, wrong thing. There.
Yeah, we'll count that. Unless your save is better. No, it's the same. I'm going to give you +1 to...
Yeah, technically I have
12,
a
12,
1 to save.
So technically you rolled a 16.
Yep.
Yeah, you pass. You can feel it trying to drain the literal life out of you. As it does this. And you manage to sort of resist it, but you can still feel the necrosis taking hold. And it's going to roll its own initiative roll here. And I think since Ordella has had to step away, and it is already almost 10, this is as good a place as any to wrap it up for the eve. As kind of like this creature, Darkreth, has floated over in your direction and has grabbed you as Leonard is trying to explore other chambers. We'll wrap it there. Unless you have a reaction or something.
If I'm allowed a reaction, I would like to try to turn him. Similar to what Zarya did, if I could.
Okay, you can try. I'll get you that.
Okay, so I'm on a channel divinity.
Okay.
And then that'll be a DC 12
Wisdom save?
wisdom save.
As you do that, this creature looks at you and laughs.
Oh no. It looked so easy when Zarya did it.
And it seems to be much, much, much stronger than whatever you had previously encountered was. And at that, gentlemen, we'll wrap it up. And see you guys next week for further adventures into the cave.
Oh, man.
I hope everybody had a good time.
Yeah, until the very end.
Until the instrument of our doom presented itself, it was
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys have fought ring wraiths and things before. This is a bad thing. Definitely. You went in, you said, let's avoid the vampires. We'll go into the bad things room.
Seemed like such a good idea.
Turns out the vampires were the appetizers, and we just went right for the main course, apparently,
Yeah.
of
yeah.
the Doom.
Yeah.
The Doom buffet.
I got some other news for you guys. It definitely gets worse. The chambers in here have the names like Den of Death, the Chamber of Doom. This is a bad place.
Ooh.
This is a bad place.
Ooh.
But hey, who's feeling the most lucky? Cadillac, roll a d20.
I feel pretty. Oh, that was a real question. I'm sorry. I thought we were.
Real question. Roll a d20.
Okay. Let's see. Roll.
See how lucky you are.
20.
Nope.
No.
No, did that really? Is that what? I guess that's what happened.
That's really what it rolled. That's really, really, really what it rolled.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, well, you'll just have to find out next time. That was gonna be something really good, not really bad. That was gonna be something really, really good, and you picked the least lucky person. You rolled a 2.
Unless he was trying to roll a 2 and he was the luckiest person.
That's right.
No. Because if he'd rolled a 10 or higher, I was gonna let you go ahead and level up.
Oh, that would have helped.
But we'll approach that again later.
I'm doomed.
So-
We'll approach that as we roll our backups.
But the dice have decided which way that went. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good night.